Get in, losers. We're going to Whole Foods. Today, we are shopping and talking about 4 categories of food that have helped me lose 25 pounds this summer from Memorial Day to Labor Day, and has also helped me coach thousands of people get in the best shape of their life. There are 4 categories of food. 1, protein. Everybody and their mother has been talking to you about protein, but it still needs to be discussed. There's a lot of myths out there, and there's a lot of things that make these meals more flavorful and enjoyable. 2, fiber. Fiber is incredible for your health, but it's also going to help you feel full. When you're dieting, you are simply eating less food, and therefore you are likely to finish your meal and not be satiated. Fiber is going to help with that. And along with that, 3, eating high volume foods. High volume foods are foods that are very voluminous for very little calories. They can be things like Greek yogurt, it can be things like potatoes. We're gonna go in depth into the high volume foods that I incorporate into my diet, so that by the time it's bedtime, man, if I eat any more food, I am gonna light up the bedroom with gas all night. My wife is gonna kill me. I'm serious. By the time I get through eating all the fiber and the high volume foods that I eat, I don't have room to eat any more food. And the 4th category of food is foods that you actually look forward to eating. There are so many zealots on the internet right now that are telling you, only eat this, or you can't eat this, or this will kill you. If you don't have things that you look forward to eating, you will not be able to follow your diet long term. The only way to have a sustainable fitness journey is to actually enjoy what you're eating. So we're gonna go into Whole Foods, even though these principles will apply to any grocery store that you shop at, and look for those 4 foods that have helped me help thousands of people get in the best shape of life, and even I myself lose 25 pounds this summer. Starting off, we're gonna talk about protein, which is the foundation of your diet. For my clients, I recommend that they get at least 0.8 grams of protein times their body weight each and every single day. Now that's for people who are trying to lose weight or build muscle. And that 0.8 times body weight is the minimum amount of protein that you should be eating. Think of it as a floor. You can always have more, and that's not problematic, but 0.8 times your body weight is the least amount of protein that you want to be eating while on a diet. If you weigh 200 pounds, that would be 160 grams of protein each and every single day. Let's talk about some foods that are gonna help you accomplish that. So we're gonna look over here. We've got some chicken thighs. These are 220 calories with 13 grams of protein. I have what I call the protein test, which is going to allow you to keep your calories down while keeping your protein high. In this example, we would look at our protein, 13 grams. We would add a 0 to it, and does it have that many calories or less? This says 220 calories, therefore this isn't an optimal food to hit our protein goal. It's not a bad food, but we wanna find foods that pass our protein test, that have at least 10 grams of protein per 100 calories, so we can keep our calories down while keeping our protein up. The reason that this doesn't pass the protein test is there's a fattier cut of meat. In general, this one is seasoned with Jamaican seasoning. I really like seasoning on a diet. It's very, very helpful with adding flavor while keeping the calories down. So it's not because of the seasoning, it's because of the cut of meat. Don't assume that poultry is gonna be leaner than beef. Don't assume that poultry is gonna be leaner than bison. That's not the case. Let's look over here. We've got venison, we've got ground bison, we've got ground beef. I love ground meats on a diet because you can simply throw into a pan, cook it up very simply with some vegetables, throw it over top of some potatoes, add some bone broth. You have an incredible meal that is very quick to cook. We've got the venison here. It's got 26 grams of protein. Add a 0 to it. Does it have that many calories or less? This venison has 140 calories. Therefore, it passes the protein test. Therefore, this would be an optimal source of protein. So ground meats, foods like those thighs that we looked at earlier, if they pass the protein test, would be awesome because they're very easy to throw into the air fryer and cook up. They don't require a lot of commitment to make in bulk. And then another thing that I like to incorporate when trying to hit my protein goal is foods that are marinated. Any sort of protein that's marinated, like these chicken breasts, they're gonna have a lot of flavor for very little calories. So marinades, seasonings, as long as they're lean cuts like those chicken breasts are. Heading over to here, we've got some frozen fish. Frozen fish is gonna be very high in omega-3s, and these are very easy to throw into your air fryer and cook up in minutes. So those are 4 examples of proteins that are very easy to cook up. And remember, we wanna make sure that they pass our protein test so we can keep our calories down while keeping our protein up. The second type of food you should be incorporating are those that are rich in fiber. If I had a client who was eating 1,500 calories a day on a diet, I would want them to get at least 30 grams of fiber a day. If my client was eating 2,000 calories a day, I would want them to get at least 40 grams of fiber. For every 500 calories that you eat daily, you should be eating at least 10 grams of fiber. I also recommend with every meal, have fruit or vegetables and multiple servings of them. Now that's gonna help you get fiber, but that's not gonna get you to those 10 grams per 500 calorie kind of numbers. You're gonna have to incorporate very specific types of foods to get that much fiber. And the reason that it's so beneficial, guys, is by the end of the day, I feel absolutely stuffed. Now you might feel bloated and you might feel uncomfortable for you, but what you'll see is the next day you'll wake up, you'll go to the bathroom and you will feel like $1 million. And most importantly, over time, the scale will keep going down because you feel full and therefore are less likely to binge. So a food in particular that I really like to incorporate are beans. I make sure that I get at least a half a cup of black beans every day while dieting because it has 8 grams of fiber. Now there's nothing magical about black beans. Any of these legumes will do because they're all rich in fiber. I just happen to like black beans. And something else that I really like if you travel frequently are these brahmi beans, because these are going to allow you to get those fiber-rich beans while traveling. We're also going to look at some bread, and believe it or not, even candy. Again, fruit and vegetables should be a major staple of your diet, and they are high in fiber, but they're not going to allow you to get those crazy numbers of fiber that are going to keep you feeling full on a diet. Okay, now we're going to get into sacrilege. We're going to talk about bread and candy to help you hit your fiber. Just going to say it one more time. Obviously, fruit and vegetables, but if you want to truly feel full, I do think these products help you hit your goal. You could do it just through potatoes, just through beans. These are not a must, but for me, I regularly incorporate both of these type of products in order to help get my fiber up. And I get my fiber up to about 80 grams each and every single day while dieting, guys. So we've got Hero Bread here. We've got Sola Bread here. These are two great high fiber breads that they have at Whole Foods. We're gonna pop up a graphic that's gonna show a bunch of high fiber bread options. You can choose any of those depending on which grocery store you shop at. Over here, we're gonna look at candies. They have Smart Sweets and they have Joyride. These are both incredibly high in fiber, and I've talked about both of these on my Instagram. And I've also talked about a product called Shameless, which I'm gonna pop up because that's actually the candy that I use to help hit my fiber each and every single day. I order it off Amazon. They don't have it here at Whole Foods, but if you're shopping at Whole Foods, Smart Sweets is awesome, Joyrides is awesome. I have a little bit of this candy each and every single day to help me hit my fiber goal, along with the bread, along with the beans, and along with a ton of fruit and vegetables. Our third type of food is high volume foods, food that you can eat a lot of for very little calories. Now, there is a lot of crossover between high fiber foods and high volume foods. A lot of foods that happen to be high fiber also happen to be high volume. An example, spinach is one of the highest fiber to calorie ratio foods there are, and it also happens to be a high volume food because I can eat this entire container for around 100 calories. And that's the concept with high volume. If I ate this entire container, I would be stuffed despite the fact that I'm having so few calories. Another example of a high volume food that is also very rich in fiber is broccoli. So I make sure that I incorporate fruit and vegetables with each and every single meal because they are high volume and they are also rich in fiber. Another high volume food is potatoes. If you compare a cup of rice to a cup of potatoes, for the same amount of volume, you have way less calories when it comes to the potatoes. And if you're like me, you probably enjoy French fries, which is why I love these proper fries, because they are basically just potatoes with a little bit of oil that I can throw in the oven, I can throw in the air fryer, and I have a high volume food that goes amazing with lunch or dinner. Another example of a high volume food is this cauliflower rice. Now, for me, this isn't something I would buy because I don't really enjoy cauliflower rice, but I just want to show you again. This is another example of a high volume food. If you compare a cup of cauliflower rice to a cup of white rice, there is way less calories in the cauliflower rice. And the reason that you want to incorporate these foods is because they're going to keep you full. And guys, if you are full, if you just simply feel like you cannot continue to eat, you're going to have way more success on a diet. One last one that I have to mention, berries. Berries is a high volume food. Who doesn't love raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, and they also happen to be rich in fiber. I'm gonna pop up a list of fruit and vegetables that are the richest in fiber because again, there's a lot of crossover between these two categories of food. And the final type of food you should be incorporating are foods that you look forward to eating. Again, there is some crossover here. Those fries, I legitimately enjoy eating them, even though they're a high volume food that also has fiber. I look forward to eating my apple each and every single day. Maybe I've been on my fitness journey too long. The ground meats that we talked about, throwing the chicken in the air fryer, those are meals that I look forward to eating. But then there are also things like those smart sweet candies that people typically wouldn't classify as healthy, but again, helps me hit my fiber goal and I look forward to eating. I have loved ice cream since I've been in high school. And so because of that, every night before bed, I have something like a Yasso bar or two. I particularly like the chocolate chip cookie dough. I've also been having these Pro-Feel puddings recently. They've been my go-to sweet treat. They don't have them here at Whole Foods, but I'm just giving you examples of things that I look forward to each and every single day that I eat. If I'm on the go, I really like the Built Bars. Not the Built Puffs, but the Built Bars. I really like Quest chips. I find things that give me a sense of comfort and that I actually look forward to eating on top of the traditional foods that you would think of, like blueberries, salmon, chicken, broccoli, to incorporate in my diet so that it's sustainable. Because for most people, they struggle to lose weight. Only about 4% of people have success. And then once they lose the weight, most people regain it. My coaching program, we've helped thousands of people get in the best shape of their life. We have a 60% success rate. The normal success rate on diet is 4%. We have a 60%. And that's it, guys. If you like what you saw today, you can hit subscribe. I put out long format content each and every single week on this channel. We put up short format content on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, each and every single day. If you want to learn more, you can go to jacobzimmer.com. And also, if you're interested in learning more in depth, how I lost these 25 pounds in 3 months, I have a full YouTube video that we've already put up about that subject. I'll pop an image up so you can search for it after you finish watching this video. Again, thanks for tuning in. On this channel, we talk about how to get in the best shape of your life. It's designed for real people with real lives.